Oh my God. The Lions, yes, the Detroit Lions, went into Green Bay, where Green Bay had to win to go to the playoffs, and we weren't playing for anything, and won. I've been joking about how this is the new Lions. This is the new Lions. Old Lions would lose. No. It's now. It's here. This is the new Lions. Get used to it. Let's get into the show, baby. Welcome back to another Detroit Pierce podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you comment, Packers suck on the YouTube channel, and you send it to me with a like and subscribe, I will give you a personalized thank you or a picture of my dog. If you subscribe wherever you listen to our podcast, I will, and then you screenshot it to me and send it to any of my socials, which is down in the description. I will send you a personalized thank you or a picture of my dog just as well. People, the Lions, after 7 games, were 1-6. We're ending the season 9-8. The Lions are above 500. And let me tell you something. If the Lions were to have happened to have made the playoffs, which, God, they were so close. I mean, the Rams. I'm not even going to talk about the Rams. If they were to have made the playoffs, I guarantee you there is not a single team in the NFC that would want to face us. Not a single team would be like, well, thank God we get the Lions. Every single team would be worried about us. We're the hottest team in the NFL at the end of the season. There's going to be momentum. There are going to be things that happen this offseason because of what happened this second half of the season. It was just unbelievable. The Packers, I mean, how many times has it happened in our lives where the Packers are at home, it's cold, it's Lambeau Field, and they need to get a win, and they always get that win? Always. Not tonight. The Detroit Lions won that game. Despite the refs, despite the cold, despite Aaron Rodgers, despite ourselves, we won the game. How often is that ever going to happen ever again? It's going to happen forever. That's how often it's going to happen. It's going to happen all the time. Unbelievable. I cannot. At one point, we're 1-6. I shouldn't say me. Everybody was talking about we need to get rid of Dan. Jared Goff's not there anymore. He's not the guy. And now we're 9-8. And next year, we need to what? Fill in some gaps in the defense. Make sure re-sign Jamal Williams. Maybe get one more offensive lineman. Maybe get a tight end. Then what? Then what? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever been this excited for the next year of the Detroit Lions. I don't think I've ever been so excited for an offseason. I don't think I've ever been this excited for next year to start. This is unbelievable. Dan Campbell deserves so much credit for being able to just shut out the noise. Just shut it out. Unbelievable. I'm going to break down the year, and I'm going to give records and grades later on this week on the podcast. I'm going to be wearing a suit and a tie and everything. That's kind of my bit. But look, let's talk about this game. Let's talk about what happened today. The fact that the defense was able to slow down Aaron Rodgers, not allow a big play, except for one, Watson. Maybe the Watson throw is the only big play that happened. And then force him to go to checkdowns. But then by the time the checkdown happened, the defense was getting to him and putting a lot of good pressure on him. AG deserves all of the credit. The defense just got ragged on all year. The 32nd best, 32nd best, 32nd best. Guess what? When it mattered, minus the Carolina game, they showed up. They figured out a way. Golly, in this second half of the season, did they ever show up? Jared Goff, yet again, looking amazing, by the way. Let's talk about the offense. Jared Goff, 224, no interceptions. Did he look sexy? No. He can't throw in the cold. Let's call a spade a spade. But let me tell you something. He didn't lose the game. Figure out a way to be in the fourth quarter and have it put us in a situation to win. The offense didn't look sexy, but golly, they figured out a way to put us in a situation. Fourth quarter, it's fourth down and short, and we trust our offense to go back out there. That's as good as it gets. 9-8. The Detroit Lions are 9-8. And I thought I was crazy. Because at the beginning of the year, I said, this is a 6-win team. We have a very easy schedule. This is a 6-win team. And we made it 9-8 after going 1-6. We were 1-6. We're losing to Miami, and we're getting Green Bay, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and going, this is it. This is over. This whole season's over. And they made it. They're one step away from being a playoff team. And by the way, if we play Seattle again, we would win that game. Just sucks that we had to play them early on in the season. Sucks. Nobody wants to play us, especially next year. What Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes has done is very impressive. We have 2 first-round picks. I trust Brad Holmes to do a lot of great things. I can't believe it. We have so much cap space. I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm just going to give you a little preview of what I'm going to talk about. The Lions have so much cap space and a lot of picks. Pretty good combination to having a good offseason to help grow on 9-8. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. I just don't know. I haven't been this excited for so long about the Lions. Maybe it's every offseason I get this excited, but it feels awesome. All right, let's switch subjects. Because we're gonna have it, and we'll have a breakdown of the whole season and what the offseason looks like. I'll have that breakdown sometime this week. I just have to get my schedule organized. Red Wings got swept this week. Tough week. Not much fun. But I'm not even. That's all I'm gonna say because I'm trying to ride the vibes. I'm trying to ride high vibes. But they showed their youth and they showed their depth. It's gonna be tough. Because this is the times where it gets to be the dog days and it gets hard. It's hard for a team that's this young and with a new coach to really step it up and make this a playoff run. I think since December 8th, we've only won 3 times. I mean, this is where it gets hard. All right, let's talk about the Pistons. They suck. Killian Hayes dropped 26 points today, I heard. The thing is that there are good things that are happening in Detroit with the Pistons. There are good and positive things that we can hang their hat on. Bay hitting the game winner against the Golden State. Killian Hayes is looking good. Maybe trading Bojan for a first-round pick. Duran's looking great. Jay Ivey looks like a Rookie of the Year candidate. So much so that I might just go so far as to say, even if Cade Cunningham doesn't come back fully healthy ever, let's say it's like a career-ending injury, and we still get Wembayama, I still think there's a lot of momentum going into 2023. But that's without Cade Cunningham, and that's very unlikely. So, let's spin the mock draft wheel. And by the way, we got the first pick with Wembayama. Book it. Wembayama's to the Pistons. That's as good as it gets. That's what you need. There's a lot of great guards. Brandon Miller is also being talked about. He would be fantastic, but you need Wembayama. We need Wembayama. All right, last team in Detroit to talk about, the Detroit Tigers. Yes, the Detroit Tigers finally made a trade. They finally did something. Am I sad? They traded Gregory Soto and Cody Clemens for Matten, or whatever you say, Vierling, and Donnie Sands. How do I feel about the trade? Am I sad to see Greg Soto go? Yes. I think he's a good, solid closer. I think he's a good bullpen arm. Is he the best? No. Do I think he's overhyped? Yes. So, with that being said, do I think we won the trade? Absolutely, I think we won the trade. Soto's clearly not in the Harris bullpen mind, in Hinch's mind. He's not the bullpen guy. So, and we had clear holes, platoon outfield, a backup catcher, and a third baseman. And we got all 3 of those guys who are younger, who could play a little bit more, little bit of utility. I think Matten or Matone, or however you say his name, is going to start at third. over 300% on base percentage. I think he's like 330. Vierling is a solid platoon guy, and Donnie Sands is a warm catcher. He's a warm body who can catch whenever Jake Rogers isn't there or Eric Haas wants to play left field or first base. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. I think it's a fine trade. Do I think that we destroyed him and we stole from him? No, I don't think so. But I think we got a good return for Soto and Cody Clemens, who obviously just hadn't worked. He just hadn't worked, and it wasn't going to work. So I'm glad that we got something back for Cody and Soto. I think we won that trade. All right. With all that being said, again, make sure you like and subscribe. Later this week, I'll be coming out with a Lions podcast about the offseason and about this season, just kind of giving grades per. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a grade per coach, grade per unit, offense, defense, like linebacker, defensive line, and then talk about kind of what I'm seeing for the offseason, talk about the salary cap, talk about some expiring contracts, and talk about some maybe free agents that we could go out and get. All right, but with that being said, time for my favorite segment. Pretty short one, if I'm going to be honest with you. It is the European Minute. And that is starting now. All right, last week I did this exact same thing. I just wanted to talk about Chelsea because Chelsea is, honestly, I love Chelsea. I really do. But you make it hard. You make it very hard, Chelsea, because you spent $600 million. So what Chelsea did, if you don't know, they had a manager, Thomas Tuchel. He took him to the Champions League, which is the Super Bowl of soccer, and won, right? Then he didn't do so hot, get new ownership. Then they spend $600 million, and then they fire him. Of course it's not going to work. Of course, what are we thinking? What did you think was going to happen? What did you think was going to happen? Do you think you're going to spend $600 million and Graham Potter was going to be able to come in and just be like, yeah, I can do this? His first time ever at a decent-sized job? No, that was a dumb idea, and you've wasted a year of my life. So thanks, Chelsea, for that. I appreciate you. And that has been your European Minute. It's just stupid. It is. All right, NFL, let's do it. One statement per game. All right, are we ready to go? Falcons, Bucks. Bucks, who cares? I guess Bills, Patriots. If you're rooting against the Bills, you're a terrible person. Vikings, Bears. Bears, pop the champagne bottles. You're the number one pick. I remember when I was a lot like the Bears, rooting for the number one pick year in and year out. I hope you don't fall into that trap. Ravens, Bengals. Bengals with a big statement. They could make a run. Texans, Colts. I don't hate the Texans winning and ruining and not getting the number one pick. I don't hate it. Who cares? Dolphins, Jets. Dolphins better figure something out or else they're going to get trounced next week. Panthers, Saints. Who cares? Bears, Steelers. Congrats, Steelers. You almost did it. Chargers, Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride next year. Chargers. Giants, Eagles. 14. I think the line was 14 before the game. That was a sucker deal, and that was a good deal. Giants keep it close. 49ers, Cardinals. Cardinals start hot. 49ers prove that they're the best in the NFC. Seahawks, Rams. I don't want to freaking talk about it, okay? I don't want to even talk about the Seahawks, Rams because it almost killed me, all right? And the Seahawks fans, I hate all of you, but you're welcome. Got it? Commanders, Cowboys. I don't know what the hell the Commanders are going to do this offseason. Chiefs, Raiders. Chiefs are really good. Jags, Titans, final one. Jagging off, baby. Congrats on making the playoffs. One day the Lions will be just like you. And that's been each NFL game in one statement. Then finally, college football playoff is tonight. Georgia, TCU. TCU, I think, is a 14-point dog. I think Georgia wins. But can we just be honest with ourselves? Having Stenson Bennett run around and saying, you guys have doubted us all year, it's a really bad and ugly look, okay? I think it's time for Georgia and for these teams to be like, we're the big bad dogs. And be like, we're hated by everybody. We're hated by everybody. I'm kind of tired of this narrative of everybody doubts us. No. How about everybody hates you and wants you to lose? How does that not get you going either? Why do we have to lie to ourselves and be like, oh, well, nobody ever thought that Georgia could be the national. No, we've all thought that. That's been everybody's prediction. Idiots. I just don't get it. Prediction for the game, I think Georgia wins, but I think TCU covers. I think TCU keeps it within the number. 14 points is a lot, especially in a national championship. And TCU just never dies. They just never, ever, ever, never die. Don't be surprised if TCU keeps it close and it's like a 6-point game with 5 minutes to go. Don't be surprised. Oh, dropped my mic. And then finally, final thoughts. And this is about the Lions. Final thoughts. Other fan bases don't get the Lions. They don't understand. I talked with a lot of Packer friend fans of mine. I talked with the Seahawks fans and Chiefs fans and Vikings fans. They don't get it. They just don't get it. It's one thing to be bad. It's another thing to be embarrassingly bad week in and week out. So to have a run like what Dan Campbell and the Lions just gave us, it's just so special. And it sucks that it didn't make the playoffs, and it sucks that we're this close. I mean, this close to being a playoff team. But my God, I'm going to be buzzing about this for how many months? I'm going to be buzzing about this team and this organization for how many months? The playoffs would have just meant so much to the city of Detroit, no doubt. But just the fact that this team encapsulated Detroit and the state of Michigan and all of the fans all over the country, including myself, so perfectly, it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I know that it's kind of disappointing that the Lions didn't make the playoffs, and I'm sure a lot of people are upset about that, but my God, the fact that they were down and they were 1-6 at one point in the season, they came all the way back and beat the big bad Packers in Green Bay to end the season above 500, first time since 2017. The other fan bases just don't get it. They just don't get what we just went through. And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful what the Lions did for us this year. And God, I wish this video would get to any of the Lions players because I want to say thanks. And I'm sure everybody does for what they provided, for how many weeks of just absolute so much fun this year. And can't wait to see what they do next year. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate you coming by and listening and taking time out of your day to listen to me rant and rave about sports. It makes my day. So make sure you like and subscribe because I'll be here every week. So I appreciate you. God bless. Go Dan Campbell. Go Lions. I'll see you soon.